Hello again. Today we're getting back to some footage on the spare room trailer, or as Emily likes to call it, the tiny house, although I came to the realization yesterday while we were talking with some friends that I don't call it a tiny house because that implies it has a kitchen and a bathroom, which this will, as far as I'm aware, never have. So that's why I call it a spare room. But if you're talking to Emily, then know that she calls it a tiny house. It's the same thing. Anyway, so I've got the bump out long wall already in place, and that's been there for, at this point, almost a month, because I think I got that up before we went to Christmas. So that's definitely been a little while. But now I need to get the sidewalls for it figured out, and this is all really just flying by the seat of my pants here. There's no real rhyme or reason. I'm just trying to see what I have in my head and make things kind of work the way that they need to. So I'm at the moment measuring to figure out how tall this next board needs to be, and turns out there was a little bit of a gap. I have a love-hate relationship with nails and screws. I don't know, maybe most people do. I love the ease and convenience of being able to use a nail gun. In fact, that little pancake compressor was one of the things we ended up getting as a wedding gift back when Emily and I first got married, and I kid you not, I played with it the first time. and I went to my best friend and I was like, dude, we've built numerous basements and sheds and who knows what else. How have we never had an air compressor for either one of us before? Like, this is amazing. It just speeds things up so drastically. But the problem with nails in general is that they don't have any holding power. So that's where screws really excel. The problem with screws is while they have great holding power, they're really able to pull things together and hold them tight, they don't have any shear strength. Now, the newer types of screws, the structural construction RSS, they have a few different names. They are actually built differently than, say, drywall or wood screws, and they do actually have some shear strength. In fact, the specific RSS screws are designed to replace lag bolts, which they're amazing. I love the structural screws. I hate lag bolts, always have. They're just a pain. But anyway, the problem with screws is they just take so long, because you have to put one and drill it in and grab the next one and or drive it in, I guess, depending on who you're talking to. But so I tend to use a combination of both of them. That's what I ended up doing here. Was I used the framing nailer to put these pieces together, and then used some screws to really secure them and lock them into place. And this, on a side note, by the way, the GoPro, you see this little orange strap here on the right side of the screen. That's a tie down that I used after I had a conversation with a friend where they had commented that, sometimes it's a little bit hard to see what I'm doing since the GoPro is usually mounted to a window on the camper or on one of the trucks or something, or on the hood of the tractor, things like that. So she had commented on that, and I've been thinking about it for a while, but I hadn't gotten the little adapter yet, the shoe for the tripod, or the mount for the shoe, and because of that, I was trying to think of different ways that I could get things set up, and I've got like a head strap that I've tried a couple of times, and on high speed, the head strap is kind of nauseating, especially when you're working the tractor. That footage, I couldn't even watch it at 3x. It was quite nauseating. I moved my head way too much. But I also have a little clip that I don't know what exactly it's designed for. Um, it doesn't really seem to fit anything, but I thought I would try it, so I stretched a tie down, and it kind of worked. I mean, it's mostly stable. It's where it needs to be. It's pointed where I want it. It was kind of annoying to set up, so going forward, this I think is the last footage before I actually received the shoe and the mount. So going forward, I actually have the GoPro mounted to my Vanguard tripod for my camera, which is a really nice tripod. I've actually thoroughly enjoyed that. It can raise the GoPro to 7 feet in the air. That was actually one of the specific requirements that I had, was that it had to be able to lift the camera high enough that when I'm taking pictures of an eclipse or solar photos, moon photos, sky photos, things like that, that I can just set it there, look up, and not have to like stoop down and bend my back or whatever. So it can get pretty high up there, but it also has a arm that can adjust and swing around, and then it has a ball mount, which it's just a really nice tripod. So now what I've done, I've got the sides built and assembled and in place, and so I had to go find a couple boards for girts to run across that outside framing, and then we're done. Once this is I take that back. This was a day that I was very not feeling well, but I was admittedly feeling. There's some the challenges with trying to get the barn built and trying to get the road for my brother and things like that didn't go as well as I would like last year. So I should be building a barn right now, but because that process took too long, we weren't able to get the permit in time to actually do the dirt work, and so now it's just too wet, too muddy. So this is actually a kind of a workaround, but it's I'm not usually a depressed person, but this winter has been a little bit depressing, and building this, working on it, has been my serotonin boost, I guess, or dopamine boost, whatever. And so I had been pretty sick and didn't do work for a couple of weeks. We got a really nasty flu from Christmas, or respiratory bug or something. Who knows? Might have been COVID, it could have been anything, but it never got to the point where I needed a doctor or an ER or anything, but it was enough that it wiped me out for a while, which is why there's a gap in the video footage. But I was not quite recovered when I did this, and so I was not 100%, and you can see on the left side there, it's a little off, and on the right side it was a little off, so I ended up having to go back and fix it, but we'll do that. We'll cover that in the future video. So that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching as always. Stay safe and healthy out there, and God bless you and yours.